What is going on, guys? You are all very welcome into the Gaelic Gridiron podcast, presented by Print My Pint. If you're having a Christmas shindig, Christmas party, or some sort of special occasion throughout the festive season, make sure you check them out on printmypint.ie. And we are very, very grateful for the continued support. We could not do it without them. I am your host, Jimmy English, and joining me now is a man whose most recent NFL team defeated the Detroit Lions on a Thanksgiving showdown. It is, of course, Mark McNamee. Mark, I'm delighted to have you here, man. It's been a long time coming. What's the crack? You're currently out in California training away. You must be loving life over there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me. First of all, Jimmy. Yeah, it's great to get on and chat to you. Yeah, I'm out here training away with a coach called John Carney in San Diego. So yeah, I get to train with some of the best free agents around 3 or 4 times a week, and train with a guy who's been in the NFL for 20 years. So it was an easy decision. Like, as soon as I left Green Bay, I just came straight down here and been here since, enjoying life at the beach and training. So it's good. Could be worse.
Well, listen, you've had an incredible journey this year, Mark. From the whole. I mean, it's been about a year since you started the whole process, and you started the International Player Pathway Program. You went to the combine, you went to the draft, all that sort of stuff that happened, and we will get into that. Um, but like, how does just life compare? Between here and where you are now, it must be just such a completely different world for you and getting to train consistently. You're almost living the dream, kind of.
Yeah, no, I am absolutely, like, and it's this. Yeah, I mean, my life now compared to what it was this time last year is just completely flipped on its head, like totally different, and I love it. I love it. Like, obviously you'd rather be with a team, but this is just the nature of the business, and I wouldn't change things. Like, I love where I am and I love what I'm doing every day, so it's great.
And how did you wind up with John Carney? Obviously, he has a reputation as one of the best kicking coaches going. And obviously, plenty of the Irish lads who are over there have kicked with him previously.
Yeah.
Is that where the recommendation came from? And I mean, what sort of edge do you think? I mean, we talked about this before we jumped on. You're obviously getting a much kind of you're getting up close and personal training versus what you would maybe be able to accomplish back here at home on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, so I suppose I heard his name from the lads last year, the RPP group last year, and now Tig would have gone to him years ago as well himself, and that's where I first heard of him and what he was doing. And I went out to John for the first time in April for a week, and when I went out, I loved it. Like, and just his approach to coaching, and the group sessions were really good. And when I came down here, then I actually went to coach Nick Novak, for like a week as well. When I came here first, he was brilliant as well. Really, really good coach. It's just unfortunate I can't go to both of them on the same day. Like, pick so many times a week. But I had a really good time with him as well. But for me, like, the group sessions that I get with Coach Carney are invaluable. Like, you're kicking with lads who, like, are at the NFL level, and like, talent wise as good as anybody you'll see. So just getting to see where the bar is every day, and see, like, these are the lads who are on the street. So you get an appreciation of just how good you have to be, and how much you have to really seize your opportunities when you get them. And that, for me, is just kind of sets his coaching and the whole kind of setup ahead of anything else.
How often, Mark, roughly would you kick during the week? Is it kind of you have to give your leg a break at some stage, and
Yeah,
obviously you have the added benefit of kicking with guys who have been through this process before and who are on this journey. So you're learning every day. You're getting better. You're going up against, as you say, the best out there. It can only really benefit you and give you all the extra opportunities of potentially being signed again by an NFL team.
yeah. I mean, we kick like 3 or 4 days a week, and then after the session, like, John has his own training, like, kind of gym facility near enough to where we train. So you do a session in the morning for an hour and a half, and then you go down to the gym for another hour, and that's 3 or 4 days a week. You go to the gym in between as well. So no shortage of training. keeps.
Definitely keeps you on your toes. Mark, like, it's as we mentioned, it's almost a year now since you kind of entered into the whole NFL International Pathway Program and began your incredible journey from Gaelic football to the NFL. Tell us how the whole thing kind of came about, or what was the spark that kind of inspired you to take the leap and join Leader Kicking and embark on this adventure.
Seeing what the lads did last year was the first thing. I mean, I'd been in contact with Tig for a good while prior to the IPP. Like, it was a good year and a bit, I'd say. That I was going to the open sessions and stuff, and I was texting him, and I often like joke with him saying I just hung around him long enough till something kind of came up, and that's literally what happened. Like, it was I text him every couple of months and go up to these sessions, and he'd be like, "All right, you can kick the ball, but you've got a lot of work to do. Where do you want to go with this?" And it just kind of went on and on and on. And like, I saw what the lads did, just how they performed at the combine, and obviously Charlie doing what he's continuing to do, and then all the other lads how well they also performed under the pressure, and like just how they were able to go from Gaelic to getting as far as they went was incredible. So that's what kind of made me really like kind of state my intent to Tig that I wanted to do the IPP, and if there was an opportunity to compete to get into it, I would want to take it, just so he knew. So that was like a lot of what we talked about from probably like May of 2024 up until December was me saying, look, like if there's a trial,
Yeah.
I want to do it. I want to try and see how, if I can bridge the gap from where I am now to where I need to be. And in fairness, he kept me in the loop, and things were slow to get organised, like on the NFL side, I think last year. So it was only when was I'm just trying to think of the dates. It was like I think I heard of the 10th of December. I heard from Tig saying like there's a trial next week. If you're fit and you're available, come to it. After like not really talking to him for about before that, it was mad. It was completely out of the blue. So came to this combine in Abbottstown, and I don't know. I remember we were joking about it recently. Like my chart that I had on the day was terrible. It was like 2 or 3 out of 6 or 7 kicks. Like it was awful. But I hit a couple of really strong kicks, strong hits that you could just about see that there was enough talent that I could maybe flash with a bit of work. So like Tig from there took a chance on me, like completely took a chance on me. He let me come up one more time a few days after that session just to see me again, and then that day I was better, improved, and hit more bigger kicks. And yeah, I mean Tig literally just put his reputation at stake for me, really. Like I had no experience kicking. There were lads who at those sessions who had been playing this for years. So Tig just gave me this chance and just tried to run with it as best I can.
So you obviously you got your shot with the International Pathway Program, and then you go to IMG Academy in Florida for more intensive training. With the end goal or the end product or the kind of the ultimate kind of audition being the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. I mean, what was that whole experience like working with the guys over in the States and getting to see you up close and personal what it was going to be, what your journey looked like to ultimately the end goal going to the NFL?
Yeah, like the further I get away from it, the more I think like that was the most special time I've ever had. That whole 8-9 weeks that we were in IMG, like we had such crack. First of all, like the group of lads was fantastic, like especially the kickers and punter we got on so well, and it was just like we were having great crack and we were really enjoying it, all of us. But also when we showed up to train, we trained in USF, which is a college that was about 40 minutes up the road for the most part, just because they had an indoor facility and the correct size goalposts. So we drive up there, and then once we arrived, were just incredibly dialed in on what we had to do. We got really productive training in just because we knew the level we were going to have to reach, and we had such a short time to kind of make the improvements we needed to make before the combine. So it was really, really valuable, like the most locked in training I think I've ever experienced with those boys. And then the day itself was just a blur, really. Like it was I couldn't describe it to you, man. It was
Surreal.
It was completely surreal. It was completely, and like we had gone training every day in the lead up, and every other day in the lead up to it, with this being the sole focus, and we knew for months that this was the day. And then when we came up, I know Ty got a few words of wisdom for us before we went out, and assured us that we wouldn't be here if we weren't good enough. So go and be yourself, do you. Good things are going to happen. So don't try and overreach. Don't try and kick any differently than you've kicked before. You being you is good enough. So just go and show that. And he was right. I mean, it was. I think we were all more than good enough. Our chart was really good, and also the way we kicked the ball in comparison to the Americans who'd been doing it forever,
Yeah.
really impressive. So yeah, I mean, like I'll remember every detail of that day forever. Like it was just such an incredible experience.
I mean, that's the thing is, I mean, I think it was either this year, this combine or previous one where we had Irish kickers going over. The US scouts, NFL scouts are only beginning to realize it's
Yeah,
the talent. So, I mean, you're getting these kind of expressions of surprise from NFL scouts. I mean, it must have been fairly tough when you're seeing these lads who are used to scouting NFL kickers who are actually impressed by your leg ability and the way you kind of comported yourself.
yeah. I like it's one of those things that, like in the moment you're just so focused on what you have to do that it kind of goes over your head a little bit. Like, and looking back, yeah, I mean it was nuts. It's crazy. Like even the interviews, we had to do a round of interviews before the workout. So
Yeah.
I don't know how long it even took. I mean, it was like 8 minutes per table. It was pretty 80 minutes. Yes, 8 minutes per table. There's 8 tables, and each table had like a couple of teams on it with their head coach and their special teams coaches and coordinator, and we just went around talking to all of them, and like that was mad in itself. Just
And your first time in an NFL stadium as well, I'd say ever in
yeah,
Lucas Oil Field in Indianapolis. I mean, being in that situation and being put on the spot. I mean, it's kind of it's stuff of dreams, really, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. Oh, it is. It literally is. Yeah, like yeah, it was an incredible day all in all. Like, and I suppose the way we dealt with the scale of it was just dumbing it down to
Mm.
like Tyg always talks about the process, and you'll hear Charlie talk about it a lot as well. Like it's kind of tossed around a good bit, like, but in practice it just means your all of your focus is on things you can control and
Yeah.
things you repeatedly. So that for me that was like my warm up pre workout, and then the biggest thing was in between kicks. So no matter what happened with the kick, the way I hit it, I made most of them, but I made a few of them by about that much. Like they were posting coming out, one or two in particular. So after those kicks, just how do you like completely reset my mind to
Yeah.
be ready to go for the next ball without having any reservations about it? And yeah, after the one I missed, it was the same. Was just being able to go back to the process, go back to what you know, find the comfort in that thing that you've done 100 times before, and then you kind of forget the surroundings you're in, you forget the pressure at the moment, and you just go and let your body do what it's been doing forever. Just kick the ball, and then
But that's such an important trait for kickers, right? To have that mentality of being able to reset, even if they have a bad kick. Because
yeah,
and the same for any real kind of professional sports person, you can't have that doubt in your mind. You have to have 100% confidence in your ability to do what you do, and in your case, make those kicks. I mean, how important for you do you think learning that skill earlier on is it for you as a somebody pursuing the NFL dream?
well, yeah, that's the job description is make kicks. I mean, you just do it. I mean, how you do it is up to you. I mean, how you think about it. I mean, most kickers are very very religious guys. I mean, it's not from our generation in Ireland, it's not something we'd see a lot of, but
Yeah,
kickers in the NFL are very very religious, and they're able to just kind of pass off the pressure to like God, literally. Like this is what they believe in. It works for them, and it's just being able to kind of it helps them stick to their process again.
mm.
Like kind of give the outcome away. It's such an outcome driven position that obviously the ball going over is all that really matters. But if that's what you're focused on, it's just you're going to put yourself off. Being able to focus on the process, doing what you can control, is what ultimately shapes the outcome. So for a lot of the guys here, I find that's giving that outcome away is what helps them
Yeah,
stay. For us, it was more like uh, having like a key word in your head, like what, like swing thoughts, like always says. So for me, it was always, head down and just finish through the ball, because I knew if I kick the ball hard enough and commit to it enough, even if I miss it slightly, my body going downfield through the ball is going to put it between the
yeah,
uprights. So I'm thinking about aiming it at a certain spot, or thinking about just hitting it left middle, right middle, whatever, that's when I start chipping it, miss hitting it, and things don't go as well. So yeah, I mean, again, it's a long-winded way of saying the way you deal with it is being able to hyper focus on small things that you can control in the moment, and then doing it over and over and over again.
I mean, most people, I think, and you see a lot of it online, and the New Orleans Saints special teams coach alluded to it as well there in an interview during the week. I mean, regarding the Charlie's skill set, obviously he had the raw talent, but kicking an NFL footballer through uprights is such a scientific process. People don't realize how much actually goes into it, and it's not just swinging your leg right. It's such a precise movement and precise skill set, and for someone like yourself to have never kicked that shaped ball in your life to suddenly kicking in front of NFL scouts. I mean, I don't think people really appreciate. Everybody sees it online and everyone sees the social media side of things and all the good stuff, but it's such a precise thing to do, right? And to do consistently must be such a challenging thing, really.
It's hard. I mean, yeah, it's a hard thing to do. Like, having talent's one thing, but being able to do it all the time is not.
Being able to execute and
Yeah,
actually understand what the whole process of you're not just kicking the ball, what actually goes into it, like.
yeah. I suppose if you start doing that, like thinking about the details too much, that's when you start putting yourself off.
Yeah.
Like it's something that's as Irish lads playing Gaelic football and soccer and rugby, whatever, you have the ability to kick. It's in your body knows how to kick a ball, so you don't need to necessarily learn all of the fundamentals of kicking a ball from scratch because you already have most of them. It'd be different for someone to look it up, kicking and jet. Like I'd never kicked a ball till they were 20. Then you'd have to
Yeah.
build it up at the bottom, but because we have that embedded skill, so it's just about adjusting it, and then when you find the adjustment that works, when you're going from kicking a round ball to American football, find the adjustment that works for you, and then being able to dumb it down to one or two key things and just honing in on them, and that's all you really think about.
So you go through the combine process and then the draft. There's nothing really happens afterwards. Then the opportunity with the CFL Lions.
Yeah.
And then obviously onto the Packers, which we're going to get to in a minute because I really want to hear about that. But like, how much of a benefit do you think it was to you to get that extra little bit of practice with the, albeit a slightly different skill set or rule set in the CFL, but it's still football, right? You're still doing the same things. You're still kicking footballs. I mean, it has to have stood to you for when you do get to the NFL and the preseason playing for the Packers, right?
It stood to me a lot, like even for small things. Like I didn't know how to put pads on or jersey on. Like never before. I mean,
They didn't teach you that in Florida, no?
No, when we got fitted for the pads, but I mean we never used them. We didn't need to use them. You didn't have pads in combine, so why would you wear them?
Gas.
I had them, but I never needed to wear them, and they were different to the ones I had in Canada. So thankfully, I had Ross Bulger with me. And the first day, I was trying to maneuver
of course.
these pads and put the jersey on over, and the lads were laughing at me, and he was like, "No, no, no! You put the jersey on to the pads and put the whole thing on together." So, like, if I'd gone into Green Bay locker room and been arsing around with this set of pads and jersey 20 minutes, I didn't know anybody, they'd be like, "Who the hell is this fella? Like, what are we after doing here, bringing this guy in?" So, yeah, like, there was a lot of stuff like that I didn't know about football that I learned there. And aside from the fact that it did bring me on and it exposed me to the game, doing it, like, even learning how training is structured, like, it's not the same as you don't just go train for an hour, everyone does the same thing, and then you have a match. It's not how it works. Like, you have a script for training, and it starts off with, like, the other positions have like a light warm up or positional type stuff, and then they go into small drills without pads. Then they go into kind of bigger, heavier drills, and they go into scrimmages, and it's all done like 6 to 7 minute segments, and then they might have a scrimmage at the end, and you kick you have like a 4 minute block in between drills for when you're kicking. So you have to know when to warm up and know when to be. Like, I knew none of this stuff. I just thought, warm up for training, I'll be out a bit early, I'll be ready to kick, and that's it. You'll be on the field for 2.5 hours. So if you go out early and kick and warm up before the session, you might not be kicking for 2 hours. You're just arsenal, like, you're just sitting on the ground then. So I like this stuff. I didn't know this stuff, and because I came in so late to the Packers, I needed to have that experience before going in, I think.
I mean, you think that the an added element to the IPP might be a class on how to put pads on, because I think if
I
you'd gone to Green Bay and you didn't
probably
know that, you might have been cut on day one. To be honest with you, you mightn't have got into the field.
I might have made it as far as it is. Yeah. I mean, that's probably partly just my fault as well. I remember we definitely did get pads in IMG, and I remember somebody pulling them onto me and pulling the jersey over them, but I don't think they went back on again after that.
That's gas. So obviously, unfortunately, the CFL didn't work out for you. But I think it obviously as it stood to you because the Packers had some tape on you, and
Yeah,
then they came calling to bring you in during the preseason, and you really had a great preseason with the Packers. You made a field goal, a couple of extra points, but like, just can you describe to me, if possible, how cool, basically, is the only word I can use to describe it. It was to get to play in the NFL, actually in the NFL in such a historic stadium like Lambeau Field as well.
yeah. I was mad. I mean, it was mad. Like the first day, like I signed on the day training camp started, and then I had to go home to get my visa sorted, and it took another like 19 or something days to actually get it done to get back over. So I flew in the morning. I think it was the night before the Jets game. It was late at night, and then I was up in the facility the next day, and I kicked that night. So I flew in the Friday night, kicked on the Saturday night, just kicked off in the game. That was nuts. I was like, I running on no sleep. I'd never met any of the coaches or the players until the Friday. So that was the most mad part about it. And I remember calling my family after and like just showing them the stadium and all. And I was just like, if nothing else happens, if I get cut tomorrow, I've done this now. No one will take that away. That I've just kicked for the Packers against the Jets, just kicked off, albeit, but still. So yeah, it was treasured memories. More to come hopefully, but it was insane.
But that's just it. Like, you've done something. Like, obviously, like, from what I've seen and what we've all seen, this is by far nowhere near the end of your NFL journey. But like, if God forbid the world ends tomorrow, you've done something spectacular that almost nobody else in the world has done. You've kicked for an NFL team, and like that, I think that will, if you can take anything away from it, is the fact that you've achieved that.
Yeah, yeah. I think like it's hard. It's hard in the moment, like when you're in the wake of getting cut to really appreciate it. You're looking ahead to what's next. But yeah, I mean, in years to come, especially, I will appreciate it more and more, and I do appreciate it. Like, and I'm grateful for the opportunity I was given and for everybody that helped along the way, and that I actually went and did it. But you know, I suppose just the nature of the situation I'm in now is I'm looking what's next.
And you were also briefly part of an Irish NFL tandem with in the Packers, with obviously teammates with Dan Whelan, Wicklow's Dan Whelan, and you wore his old number in training camp and in preseason 41 as well. So that was a cool little nugget there, or Easter egg. I presume he was able to show you the ropes and make sure you're able to put your pads and your helmet on it, and you knew where
Yeah,
to go. And he
by that stage, I learned how to put them on. All right, so I did take his helmet by accident a few times, though. We both had the Irish flag in the back of the helmet, so when they were down in the same place, I often picked up the wrong one. But he was class, though. He was class. Like, he was dead sound to me from day one. As in fairness, everybody was, but you spend more time with the specialists naturally. So, like, you just, to treat them there, they were all dead sound, really, really helpful, and yeah, it
like,
was.
it must have been just, I mean, even for your own, from a personal point of view, it must have been pretty special getting to play alongside a fellow Irishman, and seeing the reaction back home. I mean, I can tell you obviously saw it yourself when you both were lining out for a preseason game and that sharing the number and everything. I mean, social media was buzzing. I mean, it got such great reach and a great response that it must have kind of warmed the cockles of your heart to see everyone back home, putting their support behind you guys, and winning you on and cheering you on.
Yeah, like I actually didn't see a lot of it. Like I wasn't on my phone that much during that time. I mean, I saw obviously a bit of it, like, but it was more like my family told me about it, but I wasn't actively looking for it, and I didn't really appreciate it at the time what was going on. But yeah, like my family were, when I was on the phone to them, they're like, just so you know, like this is like we're seeing a lot of this at the moment. Like you're getting a lot of positive attention here, and I was like, that's that's great to know. But yeah, I didn't see it myself.
And like it's great to get that recognition as well, and obviously, hopefully, that'll kind of it'll stand you. You have it's all about building the tape right in the NFL and in showing raising your profile, getting those reps. I mean, it's a massive learning experience. So, I mean, and we'll kind of finish up now in a few minutes, and we'll talk about the direction you want to go in. But like in terms of opportunities for the future for you, how important do you think it was to get that preseason action with the Packers for what lies down the road potentially?
Yeah, it was invaluable. It really was. It was invaluable. Like I've only, I think I've been involved in like 5 games, kicked field goals in 2 or 3 of them, including CFL games. So yeah, I mean, invaluable. I missed a couple of kicks for the Packers against Indy, and like that in itself is gonna, just knowing what I did wrong and how I can fix it. I mean, obviously it's not going to help my film having misses on it, but in terms of my development, this is really going to stand to me, making those mistakes at this stage, being able to correct them going forward.
Like it really is fantastic to see when you think about it. I mean, the sheer amount of young Irish lads now playing college football at a very high level. I think today alone we had something like 8 or 9 Irish lads playing in Division 1 college football, and more in the pipeline as well through the leader kicking program. And definitely some who we are going to see in the professional ranks in the not so distant future. Charlie Smith, obviously, we were talking about it before we came on. Everyone here is checking their phone every 5 minutes to see if he's been elevated from the practice squad for the game against the Dolphins on Sunday. I mean, from someone who's been in it and has gone through the process, what do you think is the driving force behind this sudden upswing in Irish talent going to college and going to the NFL? I mean, what's the buzz? I mean, how has it come about, and what's going to drive it on to the future?
It's Ty Leader. I mean, it's not like it may, it pretty seems like it's come all of a sudden. It hasn't. It's been 3 or 4 years. Like if you count his own journey as a player, even longer. Like it hasn't just started with the current crop. Like it started with Ross Bulger and Ronan Patterson.
Yes.
Like they were the first lads to do it, and like without them, you don't get Adam committing to UNC, you don't get Lorcan setting school records, so it's been brewing for a while, and it's taken a bit of time, I think, for the American side to really appreciate the talent that the Irish guys have and what they can bring to the table. But the lads, the way they've performed in college the last 2-3 seasons is just doing wonders for leader kick brand, and also it's proven to the American coaches that it is legit. It wasn't like a one thing. There is lads here that can do this. There's a lot more coming, but also to people at home, lads who are looking at these stories online thinking, that's a one-off, and your man must be outrageously good at Gaelic football or just kicking in general. And the more people do it, the more people at home will realise that it's actually something that's attainable.
Yeah.
It's not saying you're not going to walk into a Division 1 scholarship. That just doesn't happen. But I mean, there's a lot of people who have the talent required to go and compete for a scholarship via leader kicking.
What advice would you give, Mark, to anyone listening or watching this podcast who has a dream of following in your footsteps, Charlie's footsteps, Ross's footsteps, all the lads who have blazed the trail really like yourself and laid the foundations for that pipeline of talent to go to the States from Ireland? What would you say to them if they are considering pursuing that dream and trying to make it in college and in the NFL?
Starts with an open session leader kicking. I mean, you host them once a month or so all around the country. You just got to go, and don't expect it to happen overnight. Like the majority of lads don't go to one session and just find out how to kick. Like it took me, as I was saying to you, I was going to sessions on and off for a long time. It took me a long time to even get the steps, like the 3 steps back to it. Couldn't do them for months. It doesn't just happen. Like if you want to do it and you believe you can kick football, then you need to go and pursue it. Don't hold back.
Yeah.
And it's an option.
Obviously, you're out there. You're based out in California now, and you were bragging about the weather, which you didn't get off it to a great start because it's currently miserable here in Ireland. So we're a little bit jealous of you right now out there on the west coast. But like, what's next? Obviously, your visa situation is complicated. You're training away. You're putting in the work. You're going to keep chasing the dream. What's the next step for you in this journey? I guess.
I don't know for certain, to be honest. Like, my agent is working very hard on my behalf, and Pat Clark, he's been excellent, and Tig as well is always in my corner. I really don't know. I mean, there's three professional leagues in North America,
Mm.
you know, UFL, UFL, NFL. Um, I'd hope to get a shot at workout somewhere. I mean, I think the CFL is potentially a good option for me again.
Mm.
Obviously, like the ideal scenario would be to get an international spot with an NFL team.
Yes.
I think for me in my situation, I would like to play games, which may mean I have to try and compete for a job outside the NFL first. But really, I don't know for certain. I think just with the level of competition for the spots, I think without having a good block of games under my belt, it'll be very hard to get back to the highest level. So, but just pure speculation. I really don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, look, Mark, keep chasing the dream. I think I speak on behalf of the entire Irish NFL community back here at home when I say we're all behind you. We all love seeing your journey unfold. I mean, like you said, even getting as far as the Green Bay Packers practice squad and kicking in those preseason games, it was fantastic to see. And hopefully, you get that opportunity, be it in the UFL, the CFL, the NFL. I wish you all the best. We wish you all the best. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it, and happy Christmas.
Yeah, appreciate it. Same to you. Thanks very much.